I'm Cheryl. We'll be making a little bit different version of this Easter card. And this one I used some designer's paper that, let's see, it's Fruit Stand by Stampin' Up. It's the paper I used. It's all two-sided. It's pretty nice designer paper. It's nice and thick, but it's got a lot of nice, pretty designs in it. This is nice for that'll be nice for a summer card. But anyway, the one we're using today is going to be this paper, and I'm going to amp it up a little bit. This is only one-sided. It's kind of thin, but it still works. And that's from, oh, let me grab the pad that came from. This is a big, thick pad. There's 180 pieces in it. But it's American Crafts made it. I have no idea where I got it or when I got it. But it's got a lot of nice stuff in it. So I'm going to be using one of those, but I'm going to modify it a little bit. So this is what we need. Alright, we've got Whisper White cardstock. That's our card base. That's 8.5 by 5.5 and scored and folded at 4 1/4. Pretty standard thing for that. I have 2 pieces of that designer paper, and these are each 1.5 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of Whisper White that's 2.5 by 4. And then I have a piece of Melon Mambo, 3.5 by 4 1/4. The reason I'm using Melon Mambo is because I like Melon Mambo. So we're gonna add a little Melon Mambo to our designer paper. I used the Sweet Sayings stamp set, and I used right down the bottom here, right in that glare from my light. There we go. Wishing you all the beautiful blessings of Easter. It's got a lot of other nice sayings on it also, but that's the one we'll be using today. I'll get rid of that. We're using Easter Message. We'll be using Happy Easter on the inside of our card. And that's it for this stamp set. And then from Oh So Succulent, there's a couple of little tiny flowers here. I'm using one of those. If you've got some other little tiny flowers, then you could use those also. And actually the part I'm using those for is kind of optional. I really wouldn't have needed to do that. I need Tombow glue. We're going to use Stampin Dimensionals. On my original card, I didn't pop up the banner. I'm going to pop it up on this one. Then I have some ribbon. It is 3/16 inch ribbon. On my original card, I used a Melon Mambo color ribbon that matches. This one I'm going to use a lime green. Let's see how that looks. Melon Mambo stamp pad, and I have an Emerald Envy stamp pad. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make my bow. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue and make like a fake glue dot. So I'm going to need about 9 inches. I cut off 9 inches. Oh, we'll need a nice sharp pair of scissors too. So I'm going to cut off about 9 inches, and I'm going to do the fork bow kind of thing, but I'm just going to use my fingers. So leave yourself a tail, wrap it around 2 fingers, stick that are working end down between your 2 fingers. Oop, get that back on there. And grab a hold of that, bring it up into the front here, And then we're just going to take these two ends here and tie it in a nice tight knot. And this is where I would grab one end with my mouth, but I'm not going to do that because that's not very polite to be doing that on a video. So we'll give them a nice tug, get them nice and tight, and slide them off my fingers. And there we have our bow. We'll pull that down, and I'll trim the ends once I attach it to the card. But now on the back side of the card of the bow here, I'm going to take my Tombow glue. Ooh, that's cookie in there. And put a nice big blob of Tombow glue on there, and I'm just going to set this aside while we work on the rest of the card. I'm going to let that dry, and that will become just like a glue dot. Now I do have glue dots too, but you know, I know that you know, it can get to be quite expensive to do these crafty things. And so I trying to give you alternate uses for products. Alright, so I've got my little piece of Whisper White here, and I'll get my stamp with the wishing you sentiment on it, and I'm going to stamp that in Emerald Envy. So I'll ink that up, and we want that pretty much, boy, that's a juicy pad. We're going to stamp that up close to the top and centered side to side. We want it up towards the top because we have to cut our little tail in there. Let me get this way out of the way so I don't put my arm in it. So I'm going to do something that I really hate doing, but this size paper will not fit into my banner punch that I usually use. And this, I don't like to do this, but to just snip in the center of the paper up about, let me get my ruler so I can tell you. Alright, I snipped in about 3/4 of an inch up from the top, or from the bottom. And now from the corner, I'm going to just do a straight cut to the top of where I cut. And there we go. So now we have our banner ready to go on the front of the card. So I'll close this up because nope, I'm not done with this. I need to stamp my Happy Easter sentiment on the inside with that. So let me do that while I have this ink out. So ink my Happy Easter stamp up. Make sure that I'm going to stamp it the right way. And we're going to go center side to side and down about, I don't know, maybe an inch from the top. And there's our Happy Easter sentiment. And if you've watched my videos, you know this is a rare occasion that I stamp something on the inside, because I usually just leave that blank and then put whatever I want to say to the person I'm sending it to. Okay, now we're going to bring in that little bitty flower. So probably you've got something like this stashed away somewhere. I'm going to get my Melon Mambo, and in between all these little leaf sprigs on the designer paper, I'm just going to fill in with some Melon Mambo flowers. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is one of the in colors. that Stampin' Up puts out, and I'm just not sure what I'm going to do when they discontinue this. I hope they bring in something that I'm going to like even better. Okay, so there's some Melon Mambo flowers on my designer paper, and I'll do the same on this piece. Just randomly stamp that wherever we think we need to have a little bit of Melon Mambo in there. And let's see, maybe one more down here. We'll have that go off the side. Alright, so now those little pieces are ready. We can close up our Melon Mambo. And I'm going to grab a rag real quick. This is my piece of microfiber. Well, it's a microfiber cloth. It's not a piece of one. But I really like these microfiber cloths. So now we have those. We have our banner. We have our piece of Melon Mambo. Our inside is stamped. And the first thing we'll do is attach our pieces of designer paper. So take the Tombow and put some glue on the back of that, and we're going to put that, yep, that's the right way. We're going to put that right up to the edge and top to bottom on our card. And take our other piece and put some Tombow on there, and do the same with this, and want that exactly top to bottom and right up to the edge. There we go. Tombow gives you a little bit of wiggle room. You've got a few seconds to move it around a little bit. That's why I chose it for this project over using snail. Okay, and then our Melon Mambo will go centered. On our card front. Oop. And there we go. And so the banner, I'm going to pop up on this one. But let me see, I should check and see if my bow is ready. And it's not quite dry yet, but I think it'll be fine. And I'm going to just put that right down the bottom of my banner. So it's just below my printing. So it's just below my printing, and you know, almost going onto this one leg of the banner. Alright, so now I'll turn that over. And try not to squish my bow too much. And put some dimensionals on here. Nice, the bow didn't even shift. I was worried it was going to shift and there was going to be glue all over. Although I did get this product just recently. And this is a adhesive eraser. I haven't had the opportunity to use it yet. Of course, since I have one, I haven't gotten glue anywhere where I didn't want it to be to try it out. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like just putting glue somewhere and letting it dry and trying it. So I'm sure eventually I'll get glue somewhere I don't want it, and hopefully that will be a wonderful thing. Alright, so now we've got our card front here, and I want my banner centered on the on the Melon Mambo, and I want it up a little bit from the bottom here. So I'm going to have to trim on the, do a little trimming on the top edge here. I could have had it down a little lower and not trimmed, but I just that little bit there just made the difference to me, so I'm just going to trim that off. Trim it off even. And there we go. So, nice bright springtime colors and a beautiful sentiment on the front. And we even have a little something on the inside on this card. So I hope you liked my video. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button down there. Where is it? Over that side. And there's a subscribe button down there too. If you want to see more of my videos, then be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to shop with me for any of the products from Stampin' Up, then you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. And y'all have a happy Easter. Take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.